Have you ever noticed that anxiety often begins with a negative thought, then another, then another? Those repetitive thoughts cycling over and over actually fuel the fire of anxiety. Today, I want to show you exactly how your thoughts feed the anxiety and, more importantly, how to break the cycle. By the end of this video, you'll have 3 powerful tools to stop giving your anxious thoughts so much power. First, let's understand what's happening in your mind. One of my favorite teachers, Peter Crone, explains that our mind becomes like a prison built from past experiences. Our thoughts aren't objective truth. They're echoes of old conditioning. When you believe every anxious thought that passes through your mind, you're essentially handing the keys of your nervous system over to fear. Anxiety thrives in this mental prison because your mind keeps rehearsing what went wrong or imagining what could go wrong next. Think about it. How many of your anxious thoughts are actually about what's happening right now? Most of them are either replaying the past or projecting into the future. That's your first clue that these thoughts aren't necessarily true. They're just mental habits. If you're driving while focusing on the rear view mirror, you're going to crash. You can't navigate forward when you're constantly looking back. The same principle applies to our mental focus. When you place your attention on things that have gone wrong in the past or what could go wrong in the future, you're robbing yourself of the present moment. By focusing on regrets and worst-case scenarios, you're directing your energy towards negativity, and where focus goes, energy flows. Just as a driver who fixates on a tree will steer straight towards it, we unconsciously move towards whatever dominates our thoughts. The consequences of misplaced focus, whether it's behind the wheel of a car or in our lives, prevent us from moving forward effectively. The more you focus on fearful thoughts, the more power they have over you. Here's the crucial part. Your brain doesn't distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. If you think anxious thoughts often enough, your body responds as if those fears are actually happening right now. But here's the empowering truth. By changing your focus, you can starve anxiety of its fuel. When you shift your physiology, your breathing, your posture, and even your tone of voice, you interrupt the anxiety cycle and signal to your nervous system it's safe. This isn't just positive thinking. This is selective focus. This is using your mind to serve you rather than hinder you. The wisdom of Buddhism adds another layer of understanding to working with our minds. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from clinging to what we want or resisting what we don't want. When anxious thoughts arise, our instinct is to fight them. I shouldn't feel this way. This needs to stop right now. I can't believe I'm feeling this way again. But that resistance actually multiplies anxiety because you're now anxious about being anxious. Instead, become aware of these thought patterns. Notice the thought without judgment. This is just a thought passing through. It's not who I am. When you stop identifying with every anxious thought, you create space for peace to return. You don't have to believe every thought you think. Most of them are just mental chatter anyway. So here's how to put these elements together to master your mind. Step 1, recognize the prison. Notice when you're caught up in repetitive anxious thinking. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me right now, or is it just old conditioning playing on repeat like a broken record? Step 2, redirect your focus. Instead of fighting the thought, shift your attention to something you can control: your breath, your posture, your voice. Step 3, practice non-attachment. Remember, you are not your thoughts. Let them pass through like clouds in the sky. You don't have to grab onto every one that floats by. Your thoughts can feed anxiety, but they don't have to. You have more power over your mind than you realize. Let's practice this together right now. If you have an anxious thought pattern that's been bothering you lately, bring it to mind. Now, let's take a deep breath. Say to yourself, this is just a thought. It's not me. It's not the truth about my future. Feel your feet on the ground. Straighten your spine. Take another deep breath. Notice how that shift changes your relationship to the thought. Notice how witnessing the thought versus running with it is how you begin to break free. You don't have to stop thinking to overcome anxiety. You just need to stop believing every anxious thought as absolute truth. With practice, you can learn to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical tools to let go of negative emotions, work with your mind, and reprogram yourself for well-being. I share somatic tools, guided meditations, and spiritual tools to support you on your healing journey. Let's close with one conscious breath together. Inhale slowly, hold, and exhale, letting go of any thoughts that don't serve you. That's where your freedom begins. In this moment, with this breath. Thank you.